Welcome back to another presentation up to the time presenting interpenetration of solids. When one solid penetrates another solid, then their surface intersect and at the junction of intersection a typical curve is formed, which remains common to both solids. This curve is called curve of intersection, and it is a result of interpenetration of solids. Now, today we're going to be looking at this topic again. It's probably the third time we're looking at it, but this one is a little complex. Today we have a cone intersecting a sphere, and here is the demonstration. So we're going to be looking at this today. Uh-huh. This is what it looks like if I were to put it on an X-ray display. You'll be able to see a point there of intersection. That's what it looks like. So we'll be constructing, what will we be constructing? So let's take off the perspective and look at this in its pure form. And what do we see? We'll be constructing this formation here today. This is what we'll be interested in. What happens in here? This will be called the curve of intersection. Alright, so I will just highlight this area in here. This is what we'll be interested in. Once again, let me clear. How are we going to find that? Well, we have a question here with all the information that I need to get this started. I'm just rotating so you guys can see what it looks like from plan. From plan, it will look like this. If I turn off, and if I turn on, you'll be able to see the cut on the inside. You can see the formation it's making. That's it right here. Alright. We're interested in creating this formation in here where I have highlighted by orange. Alright. Alright. I think that's enough now. So let's put this away and we can go and we'll read the question. So we have a question here. And let's look at our question. This question was taken from an exam that I prepared for my students. And the question is an interpenetration of solids question. So it says the figure below shows an incomplete plan and elevation of a cone and sphere penetrating. At full scale, draw the following views. Number one, the completed plan. Number two, the completed elevation to show the curve of interpenetration of the two shapes meeting. So what I just showed you was a model, the two shapes meeting, and to give you an idea of what that will look like. But roughly, I'm just going to first kind of analyze this and let's see where our key information, because we need to go over to AutoCAD and build this. So let's look for our key information to build this. The height of our cone is 60 millimeters and all the dimensions are in millimeters. The base of our cone is 60 millimeters diameter. The sphere is 24 millimeter radius, and the distance between the center line and where the sphere would be started and the center of the sphere is 24 millimeters. The distance from the baseline to where the sphere is located above the ground is 30 millimeters, and there's some distance here of 10 millimeters on plan. They're not on the same line, same parallel line, so there's some distance of 10 millimeters on plan. If we look at this here being the center line for the whole thing, and if we look at this here being the axis, the center for our smaller circle. So that is here, and that is there. All right. So that's the information that is required to get this thing drawn. Let me just clear this, and I think we can go into AutoCAD and start this. Okay, so I'm just going to minimize that there so that I have the information right there close by so that I can draw. So I'm going to minimize my screen also, right? And set up this like that. All right, good. Let me just set this up and put this closer to the top here. That shows that I'm drawing this in third angle projection with the plan at the bottom. That's all that symbol means. So let's start drawing. So I'm going to offset up 60 millimeters from my base there. I'm going to call it this line as my center line. If I can get, yeah, that's my center line there. I've offset him at 60 millimeters up. And what I'm going to do also, I'm going to offset some space down 20. Give myself enough space for this one, yeah. Let's go C for circle, and I'm going to open that, D for diameter, and place 60 in there. So my diameter of this circle is 60. Move this circle and slot it into place. So that circle is down there, and I can just remove that reference line. Now project lines from the quadrant of the circle up to the baseline, and then connect to form the triangle. All right. Now I'm going to try to insert, yeah, the sphere. But in order for us to do that, I need to offset from my center line some distance 24 to the right hand side. Yep, that's in, and then offset up 30 from the base. So that gives us our point right here. This is what I need, and I'm going to place my circle there. So my circle is going to be radius 24. C for circle, 24 is the radius. That's my circle right there. I'm pleased with that. Let me go trim, and let me just remove the parts of the circle that we don't need. Okay, so I'm just trying to represent the question. Okay, good. That's good. I usually like to pull these out just to let you know that this is resting on the ground rather than floating in midair. All right, let's now just palm this up slightly, and let's see what's happening down here at this end. We now need to place in, I need to place in the center line. Let's stretch the center line out, call it up as a center line. So just transfer that from construction to center line layer. We do that by pressing MA to activate the match drop command. And now from this center line, I need to offset 10 down. Good. C for circle, and let's create our circle of radius 24. Perfect. That's all in. These center lines don't need to be so large, so I'm just going to reduce these. That looks good there. Now it's time to solve this problem. Yes, it's time to solve this problem. Now the first thing that we need to do, I think I better annotate over here on the right before I attempt to solve this. I am going to set up what needs to be done here. So let me go over to my right, and first we need to connect that. From that point there, where the circle meets the cone or the triangle right here, and down there, we need to join that. And then we need to divide this line into 4 pieces. So I'm just going to do that. And I'm going to write a note here. divide this line into 4 pieces. All right. Okay. So that's the first thing we do. We're going to divide that line into 4 pieces. And then when we get the divisions, I'm going to go on another line here. This is what we do. We create lines going through these divisions, which are parallel to the base. And we're only interested in the divisions on the second point, the third point, and the fourth point. So we're interested in these divisions here, which is the second point, third point, and the fourth point, right? We're interested in those. Then what happens when we've done that now? The next step is we're going to take these points here and we're going to bring them, wrong tool. You're going to come down. So these all go down here. And they hit here. Yeah. So those hit there. And I like to call these, this area would be the minus numbers, the minus numbers. More on that later. You'll see why I call these minus numbers. The minus numbers are all in coming off of these points, right? And now let's go over here and we're going to use a different color. And I bring down these points to touch right here. So these points are touching the center of this smaller circle. And I'm going to call these the positive numbers. And you will find these positive numbers in this area. Right? So essentially the minus numbers would be in this region here, and the positive numbers would be in this region here. All right, I think my note is going outside the screen, so just do that. Let me just do that, yeah. So these would be the positive numbers on the right hand side and the minus numbers on the left hand side. And then when we get to this point, we are going to be creating circles using the center here, and we are going to be opening and creating circles. I don't think I'll be able to skillfully draw this point here, but I'll still try. So it would be putting a circle right there. Right. So that's what I would do. I'll be opening and creating circles from each of these points on the minus numbers, and then I'll do the same thing over on the positive side and create circles. And where these circles collide, I will be finding my intersection. So just do that to just let you guys see. It's probably a little slightly confusing. So yeah. That should be my center for those circles. So this is the center for the positive circles right here, and then that will be the center for the negative circles. That's in orange. Okay. I think that gives you an understanding of the steps I'll be taking. Let me just leave that there for now, right? Let me get back over into the AutoCAD. So let's see how all this plays out. First, draw a line. Let me just put these into their respective layers now, because these are going to be outline. Good. So draw a line from there to there, and then divide that div into 4 pieces. All right. Create lines that are parallel to the base. So just move this into these 3 points. Now, what happens here? I can trim these. And just trim that, trim that, trim that, alright? Let me just trim them on this side here by the circle. Trim, trim, trim. So I've gotten my positive numbers and my negative numbers. I'm going to grab a number that I have here. Let me just grab this. And let me just insert some numbers here. Let me edit these. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Now these numbers are what I'm interested in, so I'm going to copy them. And I'm going to copy them. Actually, just copy one. I don't need to move it with all of them. Alright, so again, I'm going to make this -2. I'm going to make this -3. -3. This will go then to -4. And then over here, I'm going to make these positive. This will just be 2. That would just be 3. And this would then be 4. Alright, so then I could take away these numbers from here, so as not to confuse ourselves. So those are the numbers there. Now, next step. The next step, like if you were following over here, would be to go in the left direction, and we have gone in the right direction. Sorry, so the next step is to go down. Go down. And we're going to go down perpendicular when they hit the edge. So one set of numbers hit the edge of the cone, and one set of numbers hit the edge of the sphere. So now it's time for us to go down. So let's go down. So I'm going to draw lines, one line, and send that down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy. Alright, and then I'm going to come over here and copy. You might need to zoom in to be accurate. I advise zoom in. Don't try to be a sharpshooter from outside there. It's not worth it. Now let me put this into that there. Let me project this down here so it touches there, and this needs to touch there. That's gone too far. Okay. And this goes down to there. And that is there. So I have sent my lines down. The negative lines on the left, the positive numbers, sorry, the negative numbers on the left, the positive numbers on the right. So what's going to happen down here? Now I'm going to identify them down here so that we always know where we're looking. So I'm just going to copy my number 4, 3, 2 and just edit 3, 2. I need these. Don't want to confuse this drawing. Now I'm going to copy these and then I'm going to edit this. So this one would be 4, 3's on the outside, 2's on the inside. It's interesting. 4, 2's on the, this one is 2 and this one is 3. As I remember 3 being on the outside, when we go up to the side elevation, we're able to see this. So let me just bring this somewhere out here so it's not to confuse. Just bring that closer. Oh dear. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, this is positive 4. So drop the minus. So it's 4. It's the first one. Then it's 2. Then it's 3. 3's on the outside. Okay, good. So I've got my numbers in there. Now what am I going to do? This is where I'm going to come to. Let's deal with the negative numbers first. And we're going to come right here to this center point. This center point of this circle. And we're going to create circles. So I'm going to come here. Open up. And that's a circle at 2. So as not to confuse myself, I'm also going to put in the positive circle at 2 at this time too, and then make the connection. So this is 2, yeah. And let's see where these two things connect. They connect right here. So that is positive 2 and negative 2 combine and then create this midpoint. And let's call this midpoint B. Or we could just call it 2. Let's call that, yeah, let's call it 2. So I'm just going to copy that down to here as well. So that's where the 2's connect. And now let me put back this over here because it didn't recognize that I actually moved it. I thought I had copied. Anyway, so that's the 2's in. Let's work with the 3's now. So C for circle, and we're going to draw a circle, opening my circle to touch -3, and then come over here, open my circle to touch +3. And where +3 and -3 interact, we have a connection. And that's the connection down there. So let me just edit this quickly. I don't want to leave this a chance before I forget. No, this connects, sorry, this doesn't connect there. This connects here. All right. That's 3. So let me just move this, correct my mistake, and it intersects right there. So that's 2 and 3 are in. Now let's move on to 4. So let's touch 4 and 4. And they connect right here. Alright, so I'm just going to copy this. Move that over to there. Then move that over to there. So that's 4. That's 4. Alright. So we did it. 2, 3, 4. So what about 1 and 5? Well, 1 and 5 are already there. Where would 1 and 5 go? Interesting. That's where 5 would go. And 1 will go on here. I need to bring it down below and then trim it. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've done it there. Where we've done 2, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. So I'm going to clear off this path over here now. Clear this party drawing. And let us just look at what we have here. So what's missing? Let me just maximize here. And let's analyze this drawing before we go any further. We got our points in 2, 3, and 4 on the left and on the right side. The only thing now that's missing is points 5. Where does that go? And point 6. No, sorry, and point 1. Where does that go? All right, I'm sure that that's going to go here, and that's what's going to go there. So let's put a point there. That's going to be a point. Oops, no. Let's place a point in right here. That'd be my point 1, and that would be my point 5, right? So let me just move this. That's point 1, and that's point 5. Let me just make the changes. 5, 1. All right, now let's create the spline. So let's move from 1, go to 2, go to 3, go to 4, go to 5. And let's go back to 4, 3, 2. When we get here, we hit C to close, and it actually joins. So this is our shape here. Yep, that's our shape there. And let's put that into a hidden layer. And what we're going to do with that, we're going to go to properties, and then we're going to change that to 0.35. Yeah, I think that looks good there. And that's what you will see. But this problem isn't finished now. We now need to transfer these lines from this cut up to these parallel lines to find the intersection point. And well, we know 1 is gone up already. So 1 and 5, I'm going to put them in a hatch layer. That's my secondary construction. I can even turn off my construction layer here and go on to my hatch layer. Yep, and let us now work with these. Ooh, something is wrong. I see what's wrong. My points. are also on my construction layer. I want to transfer my points. So my points, I'm going to put them into text layer so that when I turn my construction layer off, I can still see my points. Perfect. Perfect. So now let's copy this line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's deal with these first 4 lines and see what happens as they intersect up there. Now I'm going to turn back on my construction lines and let's see what happens here. So line 1 intersects with 1 up here, as we know, so we can place a point. And that's the point. I'm going to put my point into the dimension layer. So I'm going to go on the dimension layer and insert my points on that layer. So that's 1 intersecting with 1. Let's look at 2. 2, touch that, touch that. Let's see. There's 2 there. Touch that line. That's going up. Touch that line. That's going across. Okay, so we found R2. That's our point 2 there. And let's find point 3. Touch this line. And touch this line there at 3. And that's our intersection there. Point 3. Let's find point 4. Touch that. And touch that. That's point 4. And then point 5, you know, is right here. But if you look at it, this is only what you will see from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What happens to the points on the below side? Like, what happens to these points? We need to track these points as well. But these points also go to make up the cut. However, we've just tracked points on one side, but we need to track points on the other side at this time. So I'm going to use the dimension layer, or what? Actually, no. I'm going to copy. Just keep it in this layer. Copy, and this is 2. So what I'm going to do is look for 2 the same time. Go up, and this will be the 2 line. Okay, so they will intersect there. You need to stretch that up there. I'm going to be stretching this line up because I'm going to be copying this line quite regular. So that's that line, and that's where 2 and 2 intersect. So I'm going to put a point there now. Now let me move or copy the line. CO to copy. Move that line over to 3. 2 and 3 are close. This is my 3 line. Okay, so that's 3. Just copy the line from 3 to point 4. Let's touch this. This is my 4. See where they interact. They intersect right there. Okay. So I've got my shape in there. So I'm going to SPL. And let's get this on. 1, 2. Oops, no, I didn't go through the center. 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, and hit enter. So that's what it will look like on this side. I'm going to put that into outline. And then the one on this side, I'm going to do it in the hidden layer, right? But the one on this side we wouldn't see. So SPL is the hot command. All right, let's change. Actually, let's match drop that with this same, with these properties. Okay, good. That looks good now. That looks good. And this is about finish. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go here and turn off my construction. Turn off my hatch. And let's look at it. And let's look back at our stuff here. Yeah. So we can see some strong similarities right here, and that's how we know that we've drawn this thing properly. So I can show you that there is, yeah, you can see the similarities there with the 3D model and the 2D image. All right, and now let us look at it in plan. And yeah, we can see the similarities again. Oops, that disappeared. Yep, plan. Okay, so let's clear that. And I think that went well. I hope you guys learned something new from this. I'm just going to hatch here right now before we close off this. Why am I hatching this? So that you actually can see the work that has been done. That is all. You don't have to hatch it if you want. This is just my way of making my work look a little more presentable. All right. Let's put it at 2. Let's now put that into the hatch layer. Okay, we get that. And now I'm going to turn on my hatch layer, and that's what I got there. Turn on my construction layer, and you can see everything. So this is how we have answered the question. I've completed the plan, and I've shown the cut. I'm now going to label. So I'm just going to just move this over to here. This is the front elevation. I'm going to copy this down and then change this, Put it in the middle, center MC. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. I'm pleased with this. So this is an interpenetration of solid. Let me just bring back the note inside. Let's put that symbol there. And this is finish. This is finish. So we have analyzed the question, I've solved the question, and I've shown you the similarities of when we look at the three-dimensional model, and then when we look at the AutoCAD drawing, we can see how closely similar the drawings look. So that's it, folks. Let me just go back here to the AutoCAD, which is the final product, before I shut this session off. Now, I hope you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel. For right now, this is all from Up to the Time. Take care. And, oh, before I go, please practice. Please practice this. Please practice this. Look at the video, stop the video, do a bit, unpause the video, continue, stop the video again, do a small bit, unpause the video, and then continue. But you could do it. You could do it. So just practice, practice until you get perfect. I'm out, guys.